Hopefully the mic is working. I know my hair is getting crazy. The coronavirus. No time for a haircut. So, speaking of the coronavirus, if I'm even allowed to say it, because I think then the videos still get unmonetized. I had a sort of social thought, and put in your comments what you think. I was thinking about what is the lasting effects of the coronavirus going to be on the fragrance industry in malls, right? So I say that because I think they're kind of tied together a little bit, right? Like malls where I live, and I'm sure if you're in America, malls have been dying for years now, right? And it's really sad because as a kid, I remember some of my only happy moments in life were when my grandma used to take me to the arcade and I got to play video games, right? So even nowadays, as an adult, that I'm older, especially living through all the, life or death stuff, I'm still going to die a sick person, but, I still, for nostalgic purposes, and I think it's good that, I need to get out and I like to walk around the mall. But with the malls has a social aspect, right? And if we were to think about fragrances, one of the main times that you smell fragrances is like at the mall, right? Maybe you go to Sephora, Macy's. I heard Neiman Marcus even filed for bankruptcy apparently, right? Whatever kind of department store, whatever higher end store you're going to, that's where you smell fragrances, right? There is a social aspect of fragrances, right? And so I'm wondering if there's going to be how much of an impact this virus is going to have on things like malls and fragrances in general, right? If there's going to be a little bit of a regression, right? Or a regression, what is that? What is that word? Is that the word regression? My English is so bad, but I wonder if things are going to like go down. Recession is the English word I'm looking for, right? Because I know supposedly malls are going to be opening up here again, and apparently you have to get checked before you go into the mall. You're going to have to wear a mask when you're in the mall. Everyone has to stand at least 10 feet away from each other. And I feel like that's really going to kill some of the social aspect of malls. And malls were already dying anyway, right? So I was already afraid 10 years from now, even before this, I was wondering, are malls even going to be generally alive, right? And so with it is now, I mean, what's going to happen to fragrances, right? So to use kind of like an analogy of like the social aspect of fragrances and everything like that, let me come at it from a different angle too. Let's think about a dude like, say, Jeremy Fragrance, right? Scam artist. I supported Jeremy before, and I would support him again when people were like talking shit about him about trying to get girls because, lots of people do that, right? So besides him making fake videos and scamming the community, and it pisses me off that he got more popular of it. From a certain perspective, though, Jeremy Fragrance has kind of, and YouTube in general, like how many of these YouTube dudes are bigger now? Way bigger than when I first got into fragrances on YouTube, right? In a sense, they've helped the social aspect of fragrances, right? And now more dudes like, oh, I want to smell this fragrance too. It supposedly gets compliments. I want to go try this at Sephora. I want to go try this at Macy's. Ooh, this fragrance I've never heard of. Let me go try it. Blah 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 blah. Right? There is a social aspect of fragrances. Even like think of the fragrance community. How many people have like gone to actually legitimately meet other people from the fragrance community? So I'm thinking, is there going to be, so for better or worse, you know what I mean? With these YouTubers getting more popular, fragrances being more in the limelight, you know what I mean? That has probably kind of helped fragrances, right? Because it gives them a bigger audience to maybe people who didn't care about fragrances before. But with malls being the way they are, we have to like social distance so much, I'm sure a lot of dudes aren't going around PUAing gaming girls, trying to pick up people up. So I'm wondering how much of an effect this is going to have on fragrances because we can't be as social as we used to be. This might be the final nail in the coffin, I feel, for malls, for most malls, right? You know what I mean? Like, how much longer? Man, I thought it was going to be 10 years. Maybe malls only have like 5 more years, right? So I'm wondering if there's going to be a little bit of a recession because how many of these, like, if people can't regularly go out and be as social as much anyway when they're wearing fragrances, if people can't even go out as easily to test these fragrances, you know what I mean? How many brands are going to survive as easily? Maybe there's going to be less fragrances coming out. Will things get less expensive? Maybe they'll get more expensive. So that is a thought I've had, you know what I mean? Because again, if we're going to be less social, what's going to happen, right? I think it's sad because, again, I enjoy malls for a nostalgic reason. I like going to malls, just walking around. It's one of the main times that I smell fragrances, go to Sephora, get whatever sample I can get. You know, of course, I shop online and sample whatever, but that is expensive, dude. I'm into fragrances, and that's too fucking expensive for me most of the time just to sample stuff, you know, online, right? So malls, one of the main reasons that you can smell stuff. And if you can't regularly do that at a mall, I gotta assume that hurts. And then you gotta think about these YouTuber dudes who are now trying to make a living off of YouTube. If less stuff comes out, then they're gonna be hurting. So I'm wondering what this virus is going to have an impact on malls and fragrances. Do you get where I'm getting at? I wonder how much. So put in the comments what you think. I was interested by that, you know what I mean? So anyway, keeping my channel active fragrance wise. I've thought about maybe doing a fragrance video. I know some people have asked before. They like that video, like the weirdest compliments I've ever gotten or the craziest comments, whatever, good or bad. Maybe I'll do another video about that again, but keeping my channel active fragrance wise, I guess.